G'day and welcome to this week's real estate market update. Hope you're getting excited for Christmas. Not long now, the Christmas spirit is already filling the air. So this week in the property news, we've got the reports for November property price growth. Now there's varying reports, but the one I read was from Cotality, one of the leading property market databases in Australia. And they reported national growth of 1%, which is slightly down on October, of 1.1%, so might show early signs of a stabilising market. However, still phenomenal growth. And leading the way was Perth with growth of 2.4% over November. Brisbane and Adelaide not far behind that at 1.9%. So fairly phenomenal growth. If you look at that median house price and what that means in a dollar figure, for Perth, for example, that's $21,000 monthly gain on the median house price in the vicinity of Perth. So fairly phenomenal growth, and we're certainly not seeing a slowdown in those capital cities where property listings are 40% below the decade averages. So that's fairly significant. Less properties, lots of buyer demand, and that's causing the heat in the market, pushing up those prices. And conditions are very similar here on the Sunshine Coast. One theme that we're seeing consistently across Australia is that lower quartile of the property market, so that affordable category. That's where we're seeing most demand and the highest level of growth over the month of November as well. So fairly consistent there for the Sunshine Coast and across most markets here in Australia as well. So phenomenal growth. We don't expect it to slow. I get this question all the time. Should I consider selling now or should I wait sometime in the new year to sell? Buyers will not stop. There's plenty of buyer activities, and buyer activities will continue all the way through Christmas and New Year's, maybe slowing down at key moments like Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, etc. But general theme is that we always experience a lot of buyer inquiries and a lot of holiday makers making their way to the Sunshine Coast as well, having a look around and making a decision to make a move here as well, getting prepared for the new year. So a lot of people will hold off putting their properties on the market until early next year, March, April, May. But for those of you who are ready and in a position, I would suggest doing it sooner because there'll be less competition for you. Whilst there's still plenty of buyer demand, you're likely going to achieve a fairly good result. And that's what we're hearing across Australia too from other agents that we speak with. So now is a great time if you are prepared and ready to go. I would suggest doing it now. On other news, the cash rate, so what the RBA is doing. Well, you know, it's everywhere in the media now saying that the RBA won't cut the rates any further this year, certainly not next year. They're saying maybe mid next year we might see another rate cut. But there's also people saying now that the RBA might be forced to put that cash rate up. And if they do that, that will certainly throw off the pace of the market that we've been experiencing right now. But inflation isn't coming back in that 2 to 3% target range that they ideally hope for. And that's why there's now consensus that there probably won't be any further rate cuts anytime soon, at least. So, which is not a bad thing. I think we need that stable rates to hold there, and that will, hold the market a bit more stable rather than seeing the dramatic growth we've experienced, and particularly here on the Sunshine Coast, reported last week and the week before. Over the last month or two, we've seen some fairly significant growth, and I've seen what I would have thought properties selling for $50,000 to $100,000 above prices 6 months ago. So you can't really look back at earlier year sales to give you comparable data as to what your property is worth. You really need someone with local experience to guide you as to what price is achieved and following a strategy that actually works to get that price as well. Anyway, you can read my full report by heading on over to martinuzzi.com.au. All the reports there and information to help your next property journey more pleasurable. Have a great week ahead, and I'll talk to you soon.